They've always got to ruin something. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another edition of NFL Offseason Rumors. The schedule leaks are hot. The full official NFL schedule will be out on Thursday, but we've had things leaked. I want to react to some of them, including this little Monday Night Football doubleheader in Week 2. That's not even a doubleheader, so they completely ruin it. We had such a great tradition going. Week 1, Monday Night Football, you always had the 7 o'clock game, and then you had the 10:30 night game in Denver, in San Diego, in, Las Vegas, wherever. But now the NFL comes out and says they're doing a Week 2 Monday Night doubleheader, except the first game is on at 7:15 and the second game is on at 8:30. That's not a doubleheader. Why are both games on at the same time? I know the NFL is going to say, oh, we don't want to have a game on at 10 o'clock. It kills the ratings on the East Coast. It's a tradition. I'm an East Coast person. Would I stay up and watch the full game on, Monday night at 10:30? No, but it's still a tradition that needs to, it's just, I just hate when they do this. It's so annoying, and randomly Week 2, you've got Tennessee against Buffalo at 7:15, and then Minnesota and Philadelphia at 8:30. So I don't think they're that great of matchups either to go on top of it. So this random Week 2 doubleheader the NFL puts out on the schedule. We also have the Mexico City game, which I hate this matchup. It's bland. It's in division. You've got San Francisco and the Cardinals. Guys, why don't we get an AFC-NFC matchup if you're going to San Francisco? Make it unique. Make it interesting. You guys remember, the Chiefs-Rams matchup, the really high-scoring game in San Francisco with Jared Goff and Mahomes when the Rams had that crazy offense with Todd Gurley. I don't know why we're doing this bland matchup. These two teams already face each other twice in the same season. It's boring. Let's do an AFC-NFC matchup if you're going to go to Mexico, but that is the Mexico game. Again, there are rumored schedule leaks that I want to get to. First thing, if you guys want to see kind of like a big graph on every team, on all the leaks, you can go to this Nerding on NFL to see the full grid, and I'll put that tweet up wherever. Nerding on NFL on Twitter. They're kind of doing the leaks. I'm sure we're going to get tons of leaks in the coming days before the Thursday night release. The NFL likes to do it up real big with the schedule. To be honest, they would be better off just putting it out, just in general, because we get so many leaks beforehand at this point. The same thing happened last year where, 3/4 of the schedule is already out by the time the NFL actually releases it. All the primetime games are out. Right now, not a lot is out, but there are some rumors. How about the Patriots at the Jets? Week 1, Sunday Night Football. Garrett Wilson debuting on Sunday Night Football? Yes, please. Yeah, oh, I'd love that. Patriots at Jets. Could you imagine the Jets winning that game? That would be crazy, but that would be a very intriguing matchup. I love Garrett Wilson. He's a superstar receiver debuting on Sunday Night Football. I'm expecting 9 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown from him. I'll be drafting him in every fantasy draft. He's going to be a steal this year. It's going to be awesome. And then this other game, Cleveland versus Cincinnati. Week 1 on Sunday at 1 o'clock. You would like, is this game going to be played in Cleveland or Cincinnati? I don't know. Probably, maybe, it just says Cleveland versus Cincinnati Sunday, Week 1 at 1 o'clock. That would be Joe Burrow versus possibly Deshaun Watson, maybe Jacoby Brissett, maybe Baker Mayfield. We're going to get to Baker Mayfield rumors, things like that here in a second. But that is an interesting matchup. Another thing, so here it is. The odds for Baker Mayfield's next team, and I want to get to this because this is kind of like the only big storyline left other than maybe Jarvis Landry signing with the team, although there was a recent report that said Jarvis Landry is confirmed not going. Oh yeah, let me get to that first. Jarvis Landry not coming back to the Browns. This is great. I have nothing against Jarvis, but as a Browns fan, I want David Bell to get as many reps, as many targets as possible. Don't pay attention to the fact that he was drafted 99th, guys. This is a legit superstar receiver in the NFL. You've got Amari Cooper Brewer on one side. You've got David Bell on the other. You've got a very good complementary Donovan Peoples-Jones is the wide receiver number 3. You know, Jarvis Landry, it's just not going to work. He might be going to Baltimore. That's the team I've heard rumored for Jarvis. It's been long enough in Cleveland. You need a change of scenery. We got your replacement. We got a really young superstar receiver, David Bell. This was my number 13 player overall on my big board. He is a star. Make no mistake about it. And I will be drafting David Bell in every single one of my fantasy drafts. It's going to be an absolute steal late in your drafts if you get your hands on David Bell. But getting to the whole Baker Mayfield saga, odds for Baker Mayfield's next team, and get this, the Cleveland Browns are the current favorite, minus 220. You've got the Carolina Panthers there at plus 275. Their quarterback situation is really in flux right now. You would presume Matt Corral will not be ready week 1. And then it just comes down to the question, do they want to continue their little ridiculous charade with Sam Darnold? Folks, Sam Darnold is not an NFL caliber quarterback. Maybe they go into week 1 with Sam Darnold and then bring Matt Corral in by week 3 or week 4. But I think they definitely need a quarterback. And then the Seattle Seahawks are plus 290. They definitely need a quarterback. And that's the team I want to focus on for a little bit. The Seattle Seahawks future. And then you've also got the Texans. I don't see it. I think the Texans are in full tank mode. They're going to say, ooh, we like Davis Mills. Guys, Davis Mills is not an NFL quality quarterback, but they're trying to tank. They're trying to lose. They're going to use the excuse, you know, Davis Mills is the future. He's a young quarterback we want to see. We all know Davis Mills is not an NFL quarterback. They're using it as an excuse to tank. It's smart. I love what Houston is doing. I would have loved them to trade Brandon Cooks and Laremy Tunsil, and they also had a horrible draft, by the way. But overall, what Houston is doing, getting the number 1 or number 2 overall pick, get your hands on C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. I don't see them in any way trading and starting Baker Mayfield in 2022. And then you've got Atlanta plus 1,500. Really big long shot there. They drafted Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round. They signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year contract. So very little chance that Baker Mayfield, well, no chance. I mean, he's not going to go to Atlanta unless Marcus Mariota like tears his ACL in training camp or something. Then you could see it. That's another side to this whole coin. With the Cleveland Browns, the Browns can just wait for an injury to happen in training camp, preseason, whatever. They can really hold on to him, and you'd think they would find a team that would be willing to trade for him. The problem the Browns are running into, Baker Mayfield was drafted 1st overall, and the Browns accepted his 5th-year option. But because he was drafted 1st overall, that 5th-year option, even though it's only 1 year, it's not a commitment, it's just 1 year. But because he's drafted 1st overall, that's an $18 million option that they accepted. So if a team trades even a 5th or a 6th round pick for Baker Mayfield, they will be taking on $18 million in cap space for 2022. So the Browns' thought process, and I heard some Browns fans talking about this, and it's really interesting. Do you just keep Baker Mayfield on your roster throughout next year, and then you could get a 3rd round compensation pick? Like, would the holding $18 million in salary cap be worth it? And then, of course, there's the whole other side of it. Deshaun Watson, does he get suspended 4 games? Does he get suspended 6 games? There's been people speculating that Deshaun Watson's not even going to get suspended until 2023. And if he gets suspended, would Baker Mayfield want to start for the Cleveland Browns? Personally, I don't think so. I think that bridge is already burned. And I think that's why they signed Jacoby Brissett, who's a capable backup who could start you 4 games and maybe go 2-2 or something. Like, he's a capable backup. So that's an interesting situation, but it's the whole idea. None of these teams are willing to straight up trade a 5th or a 6th round pick for Baker Mayfield due to that 5th-year option being worth what it's worth, which is $18 million. And the reason a rookie contract is worth that much is because Baker Mayfield was drafted 1st overall, and it's the 5th-year option, so it's going to be worth a lot. I just wanted to discuss that as well. And then I wanted to get into this situation with the Seattle Seahawks. I found something really interesting. Let me see if I can go to it. Where is it? Here it is right here. So this is back-to-back little news clips. And I think this is the perfect example why now is the time for the Seattle Seahawks to fire Pete Carroll. And people are going to be like, oh my God, how do you fire Pete Carroll? He just does not fit with their current coaching timeline. So you take a look at the first update at the bottom. Speaking Thursday, Seahawks coach Pete Carroll claimed the team was unlikely to dip into the veteran quarterback trade market, basically saying we're either going to be starting Geno Smith or Drew Lock. Then you look at 5 minutes later, a DK Metcalf news story. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll still expects the team to extend contract year wide receiver DK Metcalf. Do you understand why I screenshotted those two like that? Because both of those back-to-back are completely contradictory. You're saying we're not going to trade for a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who, let's be honest, even though he's struggled, he's better than Drew Lock. He's better than Geno Smith. He's still young. He's a former number 1 overall pick. He's 2 years removed from being a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. On one hand, you're saying you're not going to trade for him, so it's like, okay, you're going to start Drew Lock, you're going to start Geno Smith, you're going to tank, you're going to trade DK Metcalf for a first-round pick, get younger. But then in the next update, he says, we want to extend DK Metcalf. If I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm looking at this, I'm really concerned. What are we doing? Like, what is our plan? So we're going to start Drew Lock next year while offering or extending DK Metcalf to a massive contract? What is the sense in that? It seems like the Seahawks have no way forward, and Pete Carroll's current coaching timeline, which is win right now because he is old, doesn't match what the Seahawks want to do with their future. The Seahawks should seriously look into firing Pete Carroll, again, because you want to get younger. You don't have a quarterback right now. If you think Drew Lock is an NFL caliber quarterback, you're lying to yourself. Geno Smith obviously isn't. If you want to do the extension with DK Metcalf and keep him in Seattle, trade for Baker Mayfield. And maybe this is just coach talk. It probably is. Maybe they end up trading or waiting for Baker Mayfield to be released and then signing him. So maybe it's just coach talk, but still, it's just like these teams have no guidance. You have to have a guidance. If you don't have a franchise quarterback in the NFL, your number one objective should be doing everything you can to acquire a franchise quarterback. And in my view, the Seattle Seahawks' way to a franchise quarterback is in the draft next year with either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Now, clearly there are other ways to acquire one, but I'm just saying, if I was the Seahawks, I would trade Tyler Lockett for a 2023 second-round pick. I would trade DK Metcalf for a 2023 first and second-round pick. You could probably get that much for him instead of extending him and then do a quick one-year tank. To me, the Seahawks had a really rough draft in the first 2 rounds, but then hit it out of the park with the 2 cornerbacks they selected in the 3rd and 4th rounds in the 2022 draft. So again, you just see franchises like this and it's just shocking to me, just the level of incompetence. Like, what are you doing? So you're going to extend DK Metcalf. You're going to commit that much money to a wide receiver, $25 million per year, while not having a franchise quarterback? We're in crazy town, folks. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not sure. The Seattle Seahawks, they're just ridiculous. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, this is really concerning with Michael Thomas. Update, a few hurdles remain in Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas' return from his ankle injury. Michael Thomas is still injured. He's been injured for basically 2 years straight now, ever since they gave him that massive contract. If I was a Saints fan, I would be very concerned with Michael Thomas. How is he still injured? He didn't play last year. I don't know what's going on there. So just wanted to talk about that. When it comes to the New Orleans Saints and Michael Thomas, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just, I don't know what it could be. You think he'd be healthy at this point. He didn't play last year. What is he like? How are there still hurdles left? That's concerning to me. I'm sorry, but that's concerning. But guys, just wanted to do a quick update. We've got the NFL schedule leaks. They're coming in hot. They're coming in. We've got the random Monday night doubleheader in week 2, which isn't a doubleheader. It's disgusting how the NFL wants to ruin tradition. And then, guys, don't forget, this year on Thursday night, it's Amazon Prime exclusive. I hate Amazon. I hate every streaming service with a passion. If every single streaming service went bankrupt, I would cry tears of joy. I mean, oh my God, I hate streaming services. But this year, because the NFL wants, to make more money, Amazon gives them a massive contract. Now the only way we can watch Thursday Night Football is through streaming via Amazon Prime. It's disgusting, and I hope people boycott it. It is terrible. And now you've got this whole Peacock thing with the MLB. It's horrible. You've got the NFL doing a doubleheader. It's not a doubleheader if one game starts at 7:15 and the next game starts at 8:30. That is not a doubleheader. You've got the second game starting when the first game is kicking off their second half. It's not a doubleheader. A doubleheader is 7:15 and 10:30, like they used to do. Week 1 doubleheaders on Monday night. We used to always have it on ESPN. They got to ruin tradition. They ruin good things. It's sad. It's disgusting. Guys, that's going to do it for this edition of NFL Offseason Rumors. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.